The year was 2157. Humans had spread beyond Earth, building homes on Mars, Europa, and several planets around distant stars. Captain Jin stood on the bridge of the UES Pathfinder, staring at the vast emptiness of space near Alpha Centauri. "Captain, we're picking up a signal," said Communications Officer Lee, his eyes fixed on the screen. "It's not one of ours." Jin's heart raced. After decades of searching, humanity might have finally found proof they were not alone. "Get Dr. Hana up here now," Jin ordered, his voice steady despite his excitement. Dr. Hana arrived minutes later, her steps quick and light. As the ship's top science officer, she had spent years studying possible alien communications. "What do we have?" she asked, moving straight to Lee's station. "A repeating pattern coming from Sector 7, Lee replied. "It's definitely artificial." Jin watched as Hana's fingers flew across the control panel. The bridge was silent except for the soft hum of the ship's engines. "Captain, this is deliberate," Hana said finally. "Someone is trying to talk to us." Lieutenant Da, the tactical officer, frowned from his station. "Or lure us in," he muttered. Jin nodded at Da, appreciating his caution. "Can we decode it, Dr. Hana?" "Give me a few hours," she said, already lost in the work. 3 days later, the bridge crew gathered around the main display. Dr. Hana had worked nonstop, using the ship's AI to help break the alien code. "The message is from a species calling themselves the Voidborn," Hana explained. "They've been watching us for some time and wish to establish diplomatic relations." "They've been watching us?" Jin asked, unease settling in his stomach. "Yes, they say they've observed our expansion into space with great interest," Hana continued. "They've provided coordinates for a meeting." Lieutenant Da stepped forward. "I don't like this, Captain. The wording is strange. They refer to humans as potentially worthy adversaries in one section." "That could be a translation error," Hana suggested. "Or it could be exactly what they mean," Da countered. Jin studied the message again. "We need to report this to Earth immediately." The United Council of Earth debated for weeks. Some leaders wanted to ignore the message, fearing a trap. Others saw a historic opportunity. In the end, curiosity won. "Captain Jin," said Council President Kim during the final video conference, "your ship will transport our diplomatic team to the meeting coordinates. Ambassador Song will lead the mission." Jin saluted. "Understood, Madam President." "This is a momentous day for humanity," Kim continued. "The first official contact with an alien civilization." After the call ended, Jin found Lieutenant Da staring out a viewport. "You still have concerns," Jin said. It wasn't a question. "The Pathfinder is an exploration vessel, Captain," Da replied. "We're not well armed." "We'll have 2 military escorts," Jin assured him, "against an unknown alien force." Da shook his head. "I studied Earth's military history. First contacts rarely end well for the less advanced side." "Who says we're less advanced?" Jin asked with a small smile. "They found us, Captain. We didn't find them." A week later, the Pathfinder and its escorts reached the meeting coordinates, a quiet sector of space near a red dwarf star. Ambassador Song and his team of 12 diplomats prepared their speeches and protocols. "No sign of the Voidborn yet, Captain," Lee reported from his station. "Keep scanning," Jin ordered. "They'll—" "Energy spike," Da shouted. Multiple massive objects dropping out of faster than light travel. The view screen showed space itself seeming to tear open. 3 enormous ships emerged, each one at least 10 times the size of the Pathfinder. "My God," whispered Dr. Hana. The alien ships were black as the space around them, with glowing purple lines running along their hulls. They looked like predators, sleek, dangerous, and built for war. "Captain," Lee said, his voice shaking slightly, "we're being hailed." Jin straightened his uniform and nodded. "Put them through." The screen flickered, and for the first time, Humanity saw the face of the Voidborn. The face on the screen was not what anyone expected. The Voidborn had smooth gray skin pulled tight over sharp bones. Their eyes were large, black, and without pupils. Where a human would have a nose, they had only two small slits. Their mouths were thin lines filled with needle-like teeth. "Greetings, humans," the alien said in a voice that sounded like rocks grinding together. "I am Supreme Commander Krith of the Voidborn Empire. We welcome you to this historic meeting." Ambassador Song stepped forward. "On behalf of Earth and all human colonies, we thank you for this invitation. We come in peace and friendship." Krith's mouth stretched into what might have been a smile. "Of course, we invite your diplomatic team to board our vessel for talks." Lieutenant Da moved closer to Captain Jin. "Sir, I strongly advise against this." Jin shared Da's concern, but orders were orders. Ambassador Song, "Perhaps only a small team should go at first." "Nonsense," Song replied. "This is a moment for bold action. My entire team will go." From the Pathfinder's bridge, Jin watched the shuttle carry Ambassador Song and 11 diplomats to the largest Voidborn ship. The two human military escorts remained positioned nearby, their weapons systems on standby. "Captain," Dr. Hana said quietly, "I've been analyzing the Voidborn ship designs. They appear to be primarily military vessels." Jin nodded. "Keep our engines hot. If anything seems wrong, we leave immediately." 2 hours passed with no word from the diplomatic team. Then Lee called out, "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from Ambassador Song's personal channel." "Put it through," Jin ordered. The screen showed only static at first. Then Ambassador Song's face appeared. He was bleeding from a cut on his forehead. "Captain Jin." Song's voice was filled with panic. "It's a trap. The Voidborn don't want peace. They—" His words were cut off by a scream as something grabbed him from behind. Krith's face replaced Song's on the screen. "Captain Jin of Earth, your species has been evaluated and found. Interesting. What have you done to our people?" Jin demanded. "Most are dead," Krith said simply. "Your ambassador died bravely. I will give him that." Jin felt cold rage building inside him. "Why? We came in peace." "Peace." Krith laughed, a horrible sound. "Peace is for the weak. The Voidborn seek worthy opponents. It is how we judge if a species deserves to exist." On a secondary screen, Dai shouted, "Captain, they're powering weapons. All ships, evasive maneuvers." Jin ordered, "Get us out of here." The Pathfinder rocked violently as the first shots from the Voidborn ships hit the military escorts. One exploded almost instantly. The other returned fire, but was quickly overwhelmed. "Sir," Lee called, "I'm detecting 2 human life signs still on the Voidborn ship. They're near an escape pod bay." Jin made his decision instantly. "Take us in close. Da, prepare to give them covering fire." "That's suicide," Captain Da said, but he was already programming the weapons. "We don't leave our people behind," Jin replied. The Pathfinder swooped toward the massive alien vessel, its engines straining. Dai fired precisely at the Voidborn weapon emplacements, creating a momentary safe corridor. "The escape pod has launched," Hannah reported. 2 human life signs confirmed. "Get us out of here. Maximum speed," Jin ordered. The Pathfinder spun around and accelerated away from the battle, taking heavy damage as it fled. The small escape pod followed in its wake. Once they were clear, Jin asked, "Who did we save?" "Cultural Attaché Mina and Science Officer Quan," Lee reported. "They're the only survivors." Krith's voice came through the comms one more time. "Run home, little humans. Tell your leaders what happened here. Tell them the Voidborn have judged humanity and found it worthy of testing. You have 1 Earth month to prepare your defenses. Then we come. Then we will see if your species deserves to live or die." The transmission cut off. The bridge was silent. "Set course for Earth," Jin said quietly. "We need to warn them." We're at war. The damaged Pathfinder limped back to Earth in record time. Captain Jin hadn't slept for 3 days. His ship had lost 15 crew members during their escape, and the weight of their deaths pressed down on him. The United Council gathered in their grand meeting hall in New Geneva. All 50 representatives from Earth and the colonies sat in stunned silence as they watched the recordings from the Pathfinder. "This is an act of war," said General Ho, the head of Earth's defense force. He was a tall man with hard eyes that had seen many battles in the colony wars. "We must respond with full force." "What force?" asked Representative Park from the Mars colony. "Their ships are far larger than anything we have. We should try to negotiate." Jin stepped forward. "With respect, Representative, they killed our diplomats when we tried to talk. The Voidborn only respect strength." President Kim stood up. The room fell silent. "Captain Jin is right. The Voidborn have made their intentions clear. They want conflict, but they don't know who they're dealing with." She pressed a button on her desk. The doors at the back of the chamber opened. A small woman with short gray hair walked in. She carried a tablet and had the focused look of someone who rarely left their lap. "This is Dr. Yun, head of Earth's Advanced Weapons Division," President Kim announced. "For the past 20 years, ever since we detected the first potential alien signals, she has been leading the secret project. Dr. Yun, please tell the Council what humanity is truly capable of." Dr. Yun stepped up to the main display. "The Voidborn think we are weak. They think we are unprepared." Her voice was soft but clear. "They are wrong." She tapped her tablet. Images of weapons and ships appeared on the screen. Designs that Jin had never seen before. Project Hellfire was created for exactly this scenario, Dr. Yun explained. "We developed weapons that can disrupt the atomic bonds of any material. Ships that can move through quantum space, not just regular faster-than-light travel. Armor that can absorb energy attacks and redirect them." The council members whispered among themselves. Some looked shocked, others relieved. "Why were we never told about this?" demanded Representative Park. "Because some of you would have objected," General Ho answered bluntly. "But now you should be thanking whatever gods you believe in that we prepared for the worst." President Kim raised her hand for silence. "We have less than a month to prepare our defense. I am authorizing the immediate activation of Protocol Hellfire." She turned to Captain Jin. "Your ship will be the first to receive the new weapons. The Pathfinder will lead our first strike against the Voidborn." 3 days later, Jin stood in a massive underground hangar beneath the Pacific Ocean. His crew watched in amazement as teams of engineers transformed the Pathfinder. The ship's standard weapons were replaced with sleek silver tubes that hummed with power. Lieutenant Day inspected the new tactical systems with wide eyes. "Captain, according to these specs, each of these new cannons has the power to split a small moon in half." Jin nodded. "Dr. Yun says the Voidborn ships have similar technology, but they don't know we have it too." Dr. Hana joined them, her face serious. "I've been working with Dr. Yun on analyzing the Voidborn biology from the visual data we collected. We've found potential weaknesses in their ship designs too." Jin looked at his rebuilt ship. The Pathfinder no longer looked like an exploration vessel. It was now a weapon of war. "The Voidborn think they're testing us," Jin said quietly. "They think this is a game to see if we deserve to live. They don't understand human nature at all." "What don't they understand, Captain?" asked a young engineer working nearby. Jin's eyes hardened. "When you corner a human, when you threaten our existence, we don't just fight back. We make absolutely sure you never threaten us again." General Ho approached, reviewing the final modifications. "They wanted conflict," he said grimly. "And we will deliver hell," Jin finished. The newly rebuilt Pathfinder led a small fleet of 5 ships toward the edge of the solar system. Earth's long-range scanners had detected a Voidborn outpost near Pluto. This would be humanity's first test of their secret weapons. Captain Jin gathered his officers in the war room. The holographic display showed the Voidborn base, a black, spiky structure floating in the darkness of space. "Our mission is simple," Jin said. "We hit them hard and fast. Show them that humans are not easy prey." Lieutenant Dai stepped forward. "I've developed a strategy using our new quantum displacement weapons." He pointed to different sections of the Voidborn base. "If we target these 4 points simultaneously, their shields will collapse." Dr. Hana nodded in agreement. "The Voidborn technology relies on energy distribution. They won't expect us to attack multiple points at once with weapons that can bypass their shields." 5 ships against their base, asked Captain Yoon of the UEA's Thunder. "The odds don't seem good." Jin smiled slightly. "They don't know what we can do. That's our advantage." The human fleet approached the Voidborn outposts silently, using a new stealth system that bent light around their ships. The enemy had no idea they were coming. "All ships in position," Day reported from his tactical station. Jin took a deep breath. This would be humanity's first act of war against an alien species. "Target the points," Lieutenant Day specified. "Fire on my mark." He paused, then said firmly, "Mark." The 5 human ships fired their quantum displacement beams at exactly the same moment. The weapons didn't look impressive, just thin blue lines of light. But when they hit the Voidborn base, the results were devastating. The base's shields flickered and died instantly. Parts of the structure simply disappeared as the beams disrupted the atomic bonds holding them together. Secondary explosions rippled across the remaining sections. "Direct hits on all targets," Day announced. "Their shields are completely down." Jin nodded. "All ships target their power core and communication array. Fire at will." The human fleet unleashed a second volley. The Voidborn base began to break apart. Escape pods launched from the dying structure, but most were destroyed in the explosions. "Sir," called Communications Officer Lee, "we're detecting a larger Voidborn vessel attempting to flee. Should we pursue?" "No," Jin replied. "Disable it. I want prisoners." The Pathfinder fired a precision shot that crippled the Voidborn ship's engines without destroying it. 2 hours later, Jin stood in the Pathfinder's secure holding cell. Before him stood a Voidborn officer, taller than the others they had captured. The alien's black eyes showed no fear, only surprise. "You are the commander?" Jin asked. "I am Commander Zin of the Voidborn Advanced Scout Division," the alien replied in a raspy voice. "You have violated the terms of the test. You were to wait for our attack." Jin stepped closer to the cell barrier. "We don't play by your rules. You killed our diplomats. You threatened our world. It is how we determine if a species is worthy of existence," Zin said, as if explaining something simple to a child. "Many have failed our test." "This isn't a test for us," Jin replied coldly. "This is survival, and humans are very, very good at surviving." Zin tilted his head. "Your weapons, they are beyond what our scans indicated. How did you hide this technology from us?" Jin didn't answer. Instead, he asked, "Where is your fleet? Where is Supreme Commander Krith?" Zin hesitated, then seemed to decide that the information no longer mattered. "The main fleet approaches your colony on the Red Planet. They will destroy it as a demonstration." "Mars," Jin whispered. He turned to Lieutenant Day, who stood nearby. "Send word to Earth immediately. The Voidborn are targeting Mars colony." As Jin left the brig, Dr. Hana fell into step beside him. "Captain, I've analyzed their communication logs. The Voidborn are in complete disarray. They never expected us to strike first, and they certainly didn't expect us to win so easily." Jin's expression was grim. "They wanted to test us, to see if we deserve to live." He looked back at the holding cell. "Let's show them exactly what humans do when backed into a corner." The red planet Mars glowed against the black of space. Over 2 million humans called it home. Colony Director Sue stood in the command center, staring at the emergency alert from Earth. "Voidborn fleet approaching. Estimated arrival. 6 hours. Prepare all defenses." Sue turned to her staff. Begin evacuation of civilian zones. Move everyone to the underground shelters. Commander Jun, head of the Mars Defense Force, stepped forward. Ma'am, we can't evacuate everyone in time. Then we fight, Sue said firmly. Activate the defense grid. Jun looked surprised. The defense grid? But that's just for show. It's not meant for actual combat. Sue smiled slightly. That's what most people think. She pressed her hand against a scanner hidden beneath her desk. A section of wall slid open, revealing a room full of advanced equipment. Welcome to Mars' real defense system, she said. High above Mars, Dr. Hana worked in the science lab of a small research station. When the alert came through, she immediately contacted the station chief. Sir, I have an idea. The terraforming equipment can be modified to create atmospheric disturbances. The chief looked skeptical. How would that help against warships? Their ships are designed for space combat. Hana explained quickly. If we create dust storms and electrical disruptions in our atmosphere, their sensors will be compromised. It gives us an advantage. The chief nodded. Do it. 6 hours later, the sky above Mars turned black as 30 Voidborn ships appeared. They were massive war vessels, armed with weapons that could crack a planet. Begin the attack, ordered the Voidborn fleet commander. Show no mercy. The alien ships launched their first volley of weapons. But instead of hitting the Mars colonies, the shots vanished into swirling red dust clouds. On the surface, Colony Director Sue watched from the command center. Activate the shield network now. Across Mars, hidden generators powered up. A shimmering energy barrier spread over the major colony domes. The Voidborn ships fired again. This time their weapons hit the shields. The barriers held, absorbing the energy. Return fire, Sue ordered. Hidden weapon platforms emerged from the Martian soil. They fired blue beams straight up into the attacking fleet. 3 Voidborn ships exploded instantly. Commander Jun led his soldiers through the red canyons of Mars. They wore combat suits designed for the Martian environment. Remember your training, Jun told his troops. Use the low gravity to your advantage. Voidborn landing ships touched down, and alien soldiers poured out. They were tall and strong, but they moved awkwardly in Mars' lighter gravity. Now, Jun shouted. His soldiers leaped incredible distances, soaring over the Voidborn troops. They fired from above, from behind rocks, from every direction. The aliens couldn't track them as the humans used their knowledge of Mars to fight in ways the Voidborn had never seen. In orbit, Captain Jin arrived with his fleet. The Pathfinder led 4 other ships, all armed with Earth's new weapons. The Voidborn fleet is focused on the planet. Lieutenant Day reported. Their rear is exposed. Jin nodded. All ships, attack pattern Delta. Target their engines. The human ships struck from behind, catching the Voidborn fleet by surprise. Blue beams cut through the alien vessels. Explosions bloomed in the blackness of space. They're turning to face us, Dai warned. Good, Jin replied. Now they're caught between us and Mars. On the planet's surface, Director Sue received a message from Dr. Hana. The terraforming equipment is ready. We can create an electromagnetic pulse across the northern hemisphere. Will it affect our systems? Sue asked. No, we've shielded our technology. The Voidborn haven't. Sue gave the order. Do it. A wave of energy swept across Mars. In orbit, the Voidborn ships suddenly lost power. They drifted helplessly. Now, Captain Jin, Sue transmitted. Finish them. The Pathfinder and its fleet fired one last volley. The remaining Voidborn ships exploded or broke apart. The battle for Mars was over. Humanity had won. But as Jin looked at the damage reports, he knew the war had just begun. Mars' colony was badly damaged. Thousands were dead or injured. Send word to Earth, he told Lieutenant Da. Tell them it's time to take this fight to the enemy. The war room in Earth's Central Command was silent as General Ho pointed to the holographic star map. Thanks to the information from Commander Zin, We now know the location of the Voidborn homeworld, he said. It's here, in the Cygnus system, about 40 light-years away. Captain Jin and the other ship commanders studied the map. The Voidborn homeworld appeared as a large planet circled by 3 moons and protected by a massive defense network. Their central fleet is stationed here, General Ho continued, highlighting a section near the largest moon. They have over 200 warships. We can't match those numbers, said Admiral Park, shaking her head. Even with our new weapons. Jin looked at the display thoughtfully. We don't need to. The Voidborn believe in direct attacks with overwhelming force. That makes them predictable. Dr. Yun entered the room carrying a small black box. Her face was grim. The Council has authorized the use of our most powerful weapon. She placed the box on the table. This is the Hellfire Protocol. She opened the box to reveal a device no bigger than a human hand. It glowed with a faint red light. This device can trigger a chain reaction in a planet's core, Dr. Yun explained. It will cause the planet to destroy itself from the inside. The room fell silent again. Creating such a weapon was forbidden under Earth's laws. Are we really considering this? Jin asked quietly. Destroying their entire planet? General Ho's expression hardened. They threatened to wipe out our species. Sometimes survival requires difficult choices. Jin stood up. I volunteer to lead the mission. A small team with a stealth ship has the best chance of getting past their defenses. It's a one-way trip, Admiral Park warned. Even with our best stealth technology, you'll be detected eventually. Not if we use Voidborn technology against them, Jin replied. We captured several of their ships intact. We can modify one and use it to approach their homeworld. General Ho nodded slowly. A surgical strike rather than a full assault. It could work. He looked around the room. But who will go? I will, said Lieutenant Da, stepping forward. As will I, added Major Ta, commander of Earth's Special Forces. He was a compact man with quiet strength in his movements. My team is trained for exactly this kind of mission. 2 weeks later, Jin stood on the bridge of a captured and modified Voidborn scout ship. It felt strange to command an alien vessel, but their plan depended on getting close to the Voidborn homeworld undetected. Lieutenant Da worked at the alien controls with practiced ease. Our approach vector is set, Captain. We'll look like just another returning scout ship. In the cargo bay, Major Tai and his team of 6 Special Forces soldiers checked their equipment. Each carried weapons designed specifically to fight the Voidborn. Dr. Yun had joined the mission as well. She was the only one who fully understood how the Hellfire device worked. Remember, she told Jin, this weapon must be placed deep within their central control facility to be effective. The scout ship entered Voidborn space without incident. Through the view screen, Jin got his first look at the enemy homeworld. It was a dark planet with glowing purple cities visible on its surface. Scanning, Day reported. I'm detecting. Wait. He adjusted the sensors. Captain, I'm picking up non-Voidborn life signs on the planet. Millions of them. What? Jin moved to look at the sensor readings. Sir, Day said, his voice tense, I think they have prisoners. Other alien species. They're being held in what appear to be labor camps. Jin's jaw tightened. So this is what happens to the species that fail their tests. They're enslaved. He stared at the Hellfire device secured in its case. Their mission had just become much more complicated. Using the weapon would kill millions of innocent prisoners along with the Voidborn. New mission parameters, Jin announced. We're not going to destroy the planet. We're going to hit their military command center and free as many prisoners as we can. Sir, Major Ta said, that wasn't the mission. It is now, Jin replied firmly. We're not becoming planet killers today. The disguised human ship landed at a small spaceport on the outskirts of a Voidborn city. Captain Jin and his team wore captured Voidborn armor, modified to fit human bodies. They looked strange, but in the busy spaceport, no one looked too closely. Stay in character, Jin reminded his team through their secure comms. Remember, Voidborn don't talk much in public. They moved through the alien city, following the map Lieutenant Dai had created from orbital scans. The buildings were tall and sharp, like black knives cutting into the purple sky. The first labor camp is 2 kilometers east, Dai reported quietly. I'm detecting at least 3 different alien species inside. Major Taz signaled to his Special Forces team. We'll check it out. You focus on finding the military command center. As Taz's team broke off, Jin, Dai, and Dr. Yun continued toward the center of the city. They passed Voidborn soldiers and workers, keeping their heads down. Suddenly, a small figure darted out from an alley and crashed into Jin. It was an alien unlike any Jin had seen before. It had blue skin, 4 arms, and large, frightened eyes. Help! The alien whispered in broken human language. Please help. Jin froze. The alien knew they were human. Before he could respond, a Voidborn patrol approached. Run, Jin whispered to the alien, but instead, it grabbed Jin's arm and pulled him into the alley. Dai and Dr. Yun followed quickly. I am Kiro, the alien said when they were hidden. I know you are human. We have been waiting for you. Waiting for us? Jin asked, confused. Yes. Word spread among the slave camps the humans fought back against the Voidborn. That humans won battles. It gave us hope. Who are you? Dr. Yun asked. I am Luminar. My people have fought the Voidborn for centuries. They destroyed our homeworld, but some of us survived. We lead the resistance here. Jin looked at Dai and Yun. This changed everything. How many of you are there? Thousands of Luminar, and 6 other species enslaved by the Voidborn. We work together in secret. Take us to your leaders, Jin said. Deep underground, beneath the labor camps, Jin met with the resistance leaders. They were a mix of different alien species, all with scars and hard eyes that had seen too much suffering. The Voidborn have done this for thousands of years, explained Kiro. They find new species, test them through conflict, and either destroy them or enslave them. We need to hit their military command center, Jin told them. Can you help us? An older Luminar nodded. We have people working inside. They can get you past the security. At that moment, Major Ta contacted Jin through their secure channel. Captain, we've infiltrated the labor camp. There are thousands of prisoners here. Can you free them? Jin asked. Yes, but we'll need a distraction. Once they're free, there will be chaos. Jin looked at the resistance leaders. If we cause that distraction, can your people guide the freed prisoners to safety? We have been preparing escape plans for years, Kiro said. We just needed the right moment. Then today is the day you all go free, Jin promised. The plan came together quickly. Major Ta's team would free the prisoners in 3 major labor camps simultaneously. The resistance would guide them to hidden ships they had been secretly building. Meanwhile, Jin, Dai, and Dr. Yun would enter the military command center with Luminar guides. Instead of using the Hellfire device on the planet, they would plant smaller explosives at key points in the facility. The command center controls all Voidborn military operations, explained Kiro. Destroy it, and their forces across the galaxy will be in disarray. As they prepared to move out, Lieutenant Dai studied his scanner. Captain, I've identified Supreme Commander Krith's location. He's not in the command center. He's on the Sanctuary Moon. Jin nodded. One problem at a time. First, we free these people and cripple the Voidborn military. And then? Asked Dr. Yun. Jin's eyes hardened. Then we finish what we started. We find Krith. The teams split up, each heading to their assigned targets. Jin looked back at the underground resistance base, filled with aliens who had suffered under Voidborn rule. Today, they would all fight back together. They wanted conflict, Jin said quietly. Now they'll get it from all sides. Explosions lit up the night sky over the Voidborn homeworld. The military command center burned, its communications towers collapsed. Throughout the city, freed prisoners overwhelmed their guards. The resistance fighters led thousands to hidden ships and escape routes. Captain Jin watched from the captured scout ship as they left the planet's atmosphere. Lieutenant Da piloted while Dr. Eon monitored the chaos below. All teams report success, Da said. Major Tai is leading the last group of refugees to the evacuation point. And the command center? Jin asked. Completely destroyed, Dr. Yun confirmed. It will take the Voidborn months, maybe years, to rebuild their military control systems. Jin nodded, satisfied. But his mission wasn't over. Set course for the sanctuary moon. We still have one more target. The small moon hung in space, its surface dotted with luxury compounds and private landing pads. This was where the Voidborn elite lived, far from the labor camps and military bases. I'm detecting a large ship preparing to launch, Day reported. Energy readings matched Supreme Commander Krith's personal warship. Jin leaned forward. What's he doing? Dr. Yun studied her scanner. It looks like he's activating some kind of wormhole generator. Can we stop him before he jumps? Jin asked. Day shook his head. Not in this ship. We don't have the firepower. Jin thought quickly. Then we'll have to board his ship. If he's opening a wormhole, he must be fleeing. Or worse, bringing reinforcements. The human scout ship approached Krith's massive warship, transmitting Voidborn identification codes they had taken from the command center. The ruse worked. They were granted permission to dock in a small maintenance bay. We'll split up, Jin told his team. Dai, take 3 of Ta's soldiers and find the bridge. Dr. Yun, locate that wormhole generator. I'll find Krith. As they moved through the warship, alarms suddenly blared. They've detected the attacks on the planet. Da guessed. Our cover won't last long. Jin nodded. Then we move fast. Go. The team separated. Jin moved quickly through the ship's corridors, following the map Da had downloaded. He encountered surprisingly few Voidborn soldiers. Most were rushing to battle stations. Meanwhile, Dr. Yun found the wormhole generator, an enormous machine taking up an entire deck of the ship. She scanned it with her devices. Captain, she reported over their comlink, this is worse than we thought. Krith is opening a wormhole to the Andromeda galaxy. There are more Voidborn colonies there. He's calling for reinforcements. Can you disable it? Jin asked. Yes, but it will take time. And it will likely destroy this section of the ship. Do it, Jin ordered. We can't let him bring more Voidborn here. On the bridge level, Lieutenant Dai and his team engaged in a firefight with Voidborn guards. We've been spotted, Day reported. The bridge is heavily defended. Create a diversion, Jin replied. Keep them focused on you, while I find Krith. Jin reached a large door marked with Voidborn symbols of authority. He knew Krith would be inside. Using a weapon taken from a fallen guard, he blasted the door open. Supreme Commander Krith stood in a large command room, surrounded by view screens showing the chaos on his homeworld. The Voidborn leader was taller than others of his kind, with battle scars across his gray face. You, Krith hissed when he saw Jin. The human captain. It's over, Krith, Jin said, raising his weapon. Your command center is destroyed. Your slaves are free. Your ships are being captured or destroyed. It is never over, Krith replied. The Voidborn have tested species for thousands of years. Some fight well, like you humans, but all fail eventually. We didn't fail your test, Jin said. We rejected it entirely. We don't play by your rules. Krith moved with surprising speed, drawing a blade from his armor. He lunged at Jin, who barely dodged the attack. The human captain fired his weapon, but Krith was too quick. The two leaders fought throughout the command room, knocking over equipment and smashing view screens. Jin was faster, but Krith was stronger. The Voidborn commander landed a powerful blow that sent Jin crashing into a wall. Your species showed promise, Krith said, advancing on Jin. But in the end, you are just another failed experiment. Jin wiped blood from his mouth. You still don't understand, do you? We're not your experiment. You became ours. Before Krith could strike again, a massive explosion rocked the ship. The lights flickered. That would be the wormhole generator, Jin said, using the distraction to roll away from Krith's blade. Your reinforcements aren't coming. You've doomed us all. Krith roared. That generator's failure will tear this ship apart. Jin's communicator crackled. Captain, Dr. Yun's voice was urgent. The generator is overloading. We have 10 minutes before it creates a black hole. Understood. Fall back to the ship, Jin ordered. He turned to Krith. Your empire is finished. Krith lunged at Jin once more, but this time Jin was ready. He sidestepped the attack and struck Krith with a blow to the head. The Voidborn commander fell to the ground, stunned. Jin could have killed him. Part of him wanted to. But instead, he bound Krith's arms with restraints from his belt. You're coming with me, Jin said. Your people need to see their great leader in chains. Lieutenant Da met Jin in the corridor. Sir, we need to move. This ship is breaking apart. Where's Major Ta? Jin asked, dragging the bound Krith along. Day's face fell. He didn't make it. He stayed behind to make sure the wormhole generator would be destroyed. Jin nodded grimly. Ta had given his life to save countless others. They raced back to their scout ship, fighting through groups of confused Voidborn soldiers. Dr. Yun was already there, preparing for launch. 3 minutes until catastrophic failure, she warned as they boarded. The scout ship detached from the dying warship and accelerated away. Behind them, Krith's massive vessel began to break apart. The failed wormhole collapsed in on itself, creating a small temporary black hole that consumed the warship before disappearing. It's over, Day said quietly. We did it. Jin looked at the captive Krith. No. Now the real work begins. 6 months later, Jin stood in the Great Hall of Earth's United Council. The room was filled not just with human representatives, but with leaders from 7 formerly enslaved alien species. President Kim addressed the assembly. Today, we formalize the creation of the Galactic Concord. No longer will any species face the threat of extinction or enslavement by the Voidborn. In the corner, Supreme Commander Krith watched in chains. His once mighty empire had surrendered unconditionally after the destruction of their military command structure and the liberation of their slaves. The remaining Voidborn will be allowed to join our alliance, President Kim continued. But they must make reparations to all species they harmed and accept our terms. Jin, now wearing the uniform of an admiral, nodded in approval. The choice to capture rather than kill Krith had been the right one. Seeing their supreme leader defeated had broken the Voidborn's will to fight. After the ceremony, Jin met with Kiro, who now represented the Luminar people. My people are returning to the stars, Kiro said happily. We thought we were the last of our kind, but we found others who escaped the Voidborn years ago. I'm glad, Jin replied. No species should face extinction. Dr. Yun approached them. Admiral, the Joint Science Team has made a breakthrough. The technology we've developed together will help rebuild the worlds damaged in the conflict. Jin looked around the room at humans and aliens working together. Lieutenant Da, now Captain Da, was being given command of a new ship, one designed for peaceful exploration rather than war. As the gathering continued, a messenger approached Jin. Sir, there's someone asking to speak with you. They say they're from beyond the known galaxy. Jin exchanged looks with Kiro and Dr. Yun. It seems our story isn't over yet. Are you worried? Kiro asked. Jin shook his head. No. Whatever comes next, we face it together. The Voidborn thought they were testing us, seeing if we deserve to exist. What they didn't understand is that humans don't need anyone's permission to survive. He looked out at the stars visible through the hall's massive windows. They wanted conflict, and we delivered consequences beyond what they could imagine. Not just for ourselves, but for everyone they had hurt. And if these new visitors are hostile? Dr. Yun asked. Jin smiled slightly. Then they'll learn the same lesson. Humanity doesn't want war. But we will finish any fight we didn't start.